Ms. Broussard is on probation in the 32518 and 32806, was put on probation January 21st of 2020. 10-year deferred probations. One was escape while arrested, and the other was the second-degree assault on a peace officer, and then was placed on probation July 12th of 2021 in the clause number 21-36615 for a 5-year deferred probation for a state jail felony offense of possession of a controlled substance. She was here previously, entered pleas of true to counts 1 through 5 in that motion to revoke in each of the cases. There was no agreement. I received the pre-sentence report update. Have y'all both had an opportunity to review that update?
I have, Judge.
Are there any additions or corrections or anything on that?
Judge, I have just a quick comment. I'd also like to ask Ms. Richard or Ms. Fenton if they have anything for the court. They've been very involved in this case.
Anything that's not in the report that you think is important?
No, Your Honor, everything that we have in there is very direct in support.
All right, thank you.
And my only position, Judge, would be that she's obviously been extended almost every opportunity that probation has, every class, every structure, every program, and it would not be the position of the state like it typically is to argue for safety. In fact, I would argue strongly against it.
All right, Mr. Kimler.
I suppose, Your Honor, in response to that, she has demonstrated an ability to complete the programs, which is reflected in the pre-sentence report that she has been ordered to attend. Of course, there is a pattern of conduct that reflects addiction and substance abuse, but she also has the ability to complete the programs as well. I don't know how that relates to her inability, I suppose, to cope with the substance abuse issues, but she does have the ability at least to have enough structure and conform to the structure of these programs to complete them. So that says something. It looks from the pre-sentence report, it would be asking a lot to continue her on probation, especially with probation probably being unwilling to, or at least reticent to do that. I would only ask the court, if the court is considering for the developer to consider something at the lower end. She does have children, and I'm not trying to use that as an excuse or anything, but they could maybe perhaps
Children she was on her way to get while she was under the influence of PCP.
I don't know that they established conclusively that she was under the influence. I mean, again, it reflects the substance abuse problem, but she does.
She played true to all of the counts.
Right. But yeah, that's true, Your Honor, and it reflects a continued struggle with substance abuse.
Yeah. And
so the issue then is going to be probably, I'm looking probably incarceration, but I would just ask that it be something not extreme, or at the upper end. And she wanted to address the court. What do you have to say?
I do take accountability for my actions, but however, I have completed ISL before, and if you will be willing to work with me again, I would appreciate it. I have, before I was incarcerated, I did enroll myself in outpatient classes, which was referred to me through Ozark when I got assessed. And I was taking AA classes as well. I did complete 5 of the classes. However, I wasn't able to complete it because I was incarcerated. I do still have my job, and I did complete my 5-year probation for the first conviction. And I do pay my.
So is the time, it was told, I mean, because of the motion. So yeah, I mean, you did the 5 years, but
Yes,
it's not over.
yes, ma'am.
What is, Ms. Malfino, do you have any position with regard to specifically punishment on these cases?
Sorry, Judge, I was just looking back at the original PSI.
Yeah.
I do, thanks. Obviously, the court sees that she doesn't, prior to this, have any type of felony conviction, Judge, so I'll defer to whatever you think is appropriate, just in the context that they have given her so much of their efforts.
So, Ms. Broussard, you've been given the opportunity of, looks like you went to Franklin North way back in 2017. And then you get on probation. You went through JCDI, but you couldn't complete it because of progressive sanctions for continuing to not follow those rules. Then you went to Franklin North, December 7th of 2020. You were on the drug patch program. You did that. You went to anger management. You went through the moral recognition therapy. You were on the high medium caseload. You've been to ISF. And despite all of that, you're still on 2 probations, one of which you could get 20 years in prison and the other 10. You still haven't figured out how to stop using drugs. And you were in fact in a vehicle going to pick up your young children from daycare under the influence of PCP.
Oh, man. However, when I went to Franklin North, it was because I was in a toxic relationship. And that's what they did.
But here's, okay, how old?
And
How old are you?
I'm 42, man.
Okay, so you've been through what appears to be years of drug addiction. And at 42 years old, and you've been on these probations for 5 years or more, you've had every opportunity handed to you to try to help you, and you're still using. So at this time, in cause number 19-32518, I'm going to find counts 1 through 5 true, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of escape while arrested, sentence you to a term of 6 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. And cause number 19-32806, find counts 1 through 5 true, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of assault on a peace officer. Sentence you to a term of 6 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for the time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. And then in cause number 21-36615, also find counts 1 through 5 true, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of possession of a controlled substance. Sentence you to a term of 18 months in the state jail prison. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. All of these sentences will run concurrently, which means together at the same time.